Hey guys, it's Sick here, and this is going to be me giving my thoughts on RWBY Grimm Eclipse. I don't normally do this with early access games, but RWBY to me holds a special place in my heart, partly because of Monty Ohm and Shane Newville helping me out with animation stuff. Mostly Shane Newville. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and say what I think about the game, what I think is wrong with the game, and what I would like to hope that's in the future. And if the developers are watching, then hey, I hope this is very helpful for you. Let's just give a gameplay of me playing through a session in the background, so pay it no mind if you don't have to. So, what is RWBY Grimm Eclipse? It was originally a fan game, but it got so much attention that Rooster Teeth hired on the developers to make it an official game. And it is based, as I said, on the web animation show RWBY, which, as I said, was created by the late Monty Ohm. The series in general features 4 main characters, Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang, as they go through Beacon Academy to train to be Huntresses, elite soldiers, and, well, I would say more about the show, but it does have a lot of stuff in there. So I'm instead going to be talking about the game, which is apparently canon. It's taking place between Season 2 and 3, so if you have not watched RWBY yet, and you intend to, you should watch that before playing the game. Thankfully, the early access does not really show anything that would be considered spoilers. Now, the first thing I'm going to point out is that, yes, it looks good. It's a Unity game, it's got a good lighting engine on it, the textures look good, the characters look good, if they might stand out a little bit too much for my liking. But overall, you can't really say anything about the graphics. It's a Unity game, it's good, so I don't really have anything to say. So let's go ahead and talk about the gameplay. A lot of people say that it's Dynasty Warriors meets Left 4 Dead. The developers themselves say it's Dynasty Warriors meets Left 4 Dead. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's Dynasty Warriors meets Left 4 Dead. The combat is very free-flowing. You dash about all over the place, string combos together, use special moves. It is essentially, yeah, Dynasty Warriors meets Left 4 Dead. There's nothing much to really say about it. You gain special bars back by doing combos, you have a regenerating health bar, which I think might regenerate a bit too quickly to begin with. Might. But overall, I think that the fighting is nice, very quick and reactive, and there's no Bloodborne, so it feels more like a Bloodborne game than a Dark Souls game. Now I say that because this game is tough. I mean it, you will die playing this game. Even if you're really good at this game, you're gonna have some issues and you're probably gonna die. There's a particular tough part right near the end of the early access where you have to fight against 3 Ursa. And I know that I'm saying a lot of RWBY terminology here, but a lot of people that are watching this have probably seen RWBY. But basically an Ursa is like a giant bear. And they hurt. And I think it's a little bit cruel to have 3 Ursa at one time, especially that early into the game, unless that's not there, unless that's like a core of the game, in which case, I hope not. But that's for the bad parts. I'm gonna go over the good parts. One of the things I really like is the fact that you're invulnerable doing special attacks, and so are the enemies. Normally when an enemy does a special attack, you usually try and attack them before they finish it in order to stag them or anything. But in this case, you have to dodge the attack and attack afterwards, and that's just so much better in my opinion. It follows the same rules that you do, even if they can do their special moves more often than you can. The music is what you would expect. It's RWBY music, it's really nice, the battle music is pretty catchy. My only real complaint with the music is I would have loved to have had some vocal tracks. Hell, just throw in some tracks from the show like Caffeine, Die, I Burn, Red Like Roses Part 2, Time to Say Goodbye. There's just so many good vocal tracks and I would really love for them to show up in here. The voice acting is what you would expect from RWBY again. -1, but we'll get to that in a second. Because now I'm gonna have to talk about the things that I don't like. And being an early access game released only a few weeks ago, yeah, there's a few which I don't like. For starters, I am not a fan of the lack of options. I'm not acting like Tall Biscuit here as an elitist in terms of my graphics and such, but even for a non-elitist, these are just barren. There's no keyboard rebinding, the graphic sections are just 4 presets, the sliders don't really show a whole lot. It's just, I would love for there to be more options available for us here. Let us rebind our keys, let us choose what specific parts of the graphics are. I've played Unity engines in the past and they usually give a lot of graphic options. The next complaint is how the characters work with their semblance. If you don't know the show, all characters have a special ability known as a semblance. It's basically something that makes them unique. In the show, Weiss's is the fact that she can use glyphs, Blake's is the fact that she can create a clone of herself, Yang is the more damage she takes, the more damage she deals, and RWBY is just that she's got an immense amount of speed. You never see Yang or RWBY's take any part in the game. And I think that's just a really big opportunity missed. If you can tell in the gameplay, Blake already uses her semblance, and although we never see in the gameplay of Weiss in this playthrough, you can use her glyphs all the time. But Yang and RWBY's are nowhere to be seen. Sure, you can say the dodge thing is part of RWBY's semblance, but really? That would just mean that they've all got her semblance. And as I said, Yang's could be really good. You could have abilities, it could be like Craig from Borderlands 2, where you can have abilities that keep you low but keeps your damage up. I don't know, I just think that there's just a real big missed opportunity of actually utilizing their semblances. The problem is, though, is that because Weiss and Blake already use theirs in their attacks, you'd have to completely remake them. And that could just be just a massive, massive problem. The next complaint is the lack of randomization. I don't know how long RWBY is going to be. The early access is only an hour long, and yeah, sure, it just came out. It's in a very, very early state, but given the pacing of how the game's going, those 4 chapters, that's just 25 minutes a chapter. You can't really be expecting the game to be that long. I'm at least expecting it to be 3 hours, but the thing is, with no randomization in a game that is very much about co-op, it's not going to have a lot of replayability, and that's what worries me. This is an opportunity of being a really fun game, but with it just being what could potentially be a short game. Again, I could be wrong, it's early access, it's very young. This could be like a 6-hour campaign for all we know, but for what it is, with what it offers, I would like there to be more randomization options. I'd like there to be different pathways maybe, or at least different enemy spawns, depending on how the players are doing. The next one of my biggest here, is the netcoding is not very spectacular. I've had very big instances of lag, and I know that a lot of people are going to be saying, well, it's because I was probably connecting to people in the States when I'm myself in the UK, but I've connected with friends in the States before on other games like Space Engineers, and the latency's never that bad. Again though, early access just came out, probably is going to be improved when it comes out. But keeping on to the multiplayer thing, I don't like the lack of options for servers. I don't like how I can either only jump into a random game, start a new game, or play with friends. I'd like there to be more options, especially later down the line when the game gets close to completion. Let me choose what chapter I want to start on. Let me choose the character I want to play as. Let me choose what characters I don't want. I would love there to be a full team, you know, the entire team RWBY all fighting together, but oftentimes I see multiple Yangs or multiple Blakes or multiple RWBYs. There's a reason Weiss is never there, but then again, playing her, she kind of seems like the weakest of the group. Next is the secrets. I didn't mention this, but there's secrets in the game. I don't like how poorly they're placed. They're not secrets. About half of them I ran into were just there right in the open. That's not a secret, guys. Make us have to kill enemies quickly, or make us have to actually go off the beaten path to find it. Kind of open out the levels a bit more, basically. Actually hide some stuff in there. Okay, so that's the good and the bad. What would I like to see in the game? Well, outside of the things obviously fixed, I would love to see more characters. I know that this game is probably going to revolve purely around RWBY, but I would love to see things like Team Juniper, Team Carnal, Team Caffeine. I would love to actually maybe even play as some of the enemies. I would love to go through the game playing as Roman because I just love that character so much. Or Penny. Or hell, any of the characters that we've seen so far in Season 3. I would love to play as them, even if they won't make sense in the game. Just have them as unlockables for all we know. I mean, Lord of the Rings does it. You can play as Gandalf in areas which he doesn't take part in, but hey, who cares? You're playing as fucking Gandalf. I would just love to be able to play as other characters from RWBY. But obviously, this is going to be, that's like something really far down the line. like, right near the end of the release down the line, then they would probably want to think of that. But I would strongly ask the developers to really keep that in mind, because that would be so much fun. And again, if what you're looking for is replayability, that would be great because you'd have so many characters. The next thing, this one's going to be a really probably not going to happen, that I would hope the developers would do, but I'm still going to hope the developers do it, and that's team-based attacks. Partway through Season 2, we see Team RWBY take on a giant mech, and you see them work together. You see them utilize moves together. I would love that to be reflected in the game. I would love there to be special team-based moves. I don't know how the developer would do it, but I would just love for them to somehow find a way to do it. That's just simple as that. The next thing is more game modes. I keep talking about replayability, but as a game that, again, advertises itself as Dynasty Warriors Beach Left 4 Dead, you gotta have the replayability in that. And I would just love for there to be more game modes. Let there be like a battle mode, let there be like a horde mode and such. Just add more stuff that would keep us there and try and make it randomized, basically. Honestly, I think that's all I can think of. I'm racking my brains here trying to think of stuff which I like, I don't like, and would like to be added, but I can't think of anything. That is literally the episode of how, of just what I can't think of anything else. And honestly, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm gonna go by it's a relatively good thing, though. But yeah, that is my thoughts on RWBY Grimm Eclipse. I think that it's got a lot of potential. I would love for them to take on board the feedback, which, from the looks of things, they are. And just, yeah, I've got nothing else to say. So, thank you everyone for watching. If the developers were watching this, then I hope that this has been informative to you, and I hope you might have taken some things on board. If not, then that's perfectly fine. I won't know. I won't judge. But I will catch you all next time. Bye.